How you guys doing? Sure. I love you too. Thank you.
All right, so who's reading comics from the Young Animal line?
Cool. Thank you. Thanks for supporting that.
And any people who are fans of Doom Patrol prior?
Anybody who's no longer a fan of Doom Patrol after my version.
Well, I think what I want to first start talking about here is, clearly Young Animal is a new imprint, and I think the idea behind it was that DC had approached you and said, hey, we want you to put together this line of comics, and they wanted to kind of take that DC Vertigo aesthetic and mix it with the work that you were doing, which is, I think, kind of groundbreaking, and bring these two things together.
Yeah, it was many years of conversations. As a lot of people know, I started as an intern at DC Comics. I used to photocopy the pages before scanners were a big deal, and so I knew all the editors a little bit. I used to drop them off their comics in shrunken down form, and so anyway, it'd been years of talking to Shelley Bond, who's amazing. Yeah. And we talked about doing something at Vertigo a long time ago, so we always kind of stayed in touch. And, been friends with Jim Lee for a really long time as well. He's very close with my brother, and he'd been coming to shows with his wife, and, it was pretty amazing. So we had this relationship, and then we went and did a comic convention in South America together, and we would have these dinners every night. We just kind of kept talking about doing an imprint or something. The idea was Jim's to do an imprint.
Oh, right on. And so now, and Shelley Bond was at DC at the time when you were interning.
Yes.
And I know it's hard when you're an intern, you don't necessarily meet everybody, but you did eventually have conversations with her.
I did. She's awesome. She doesn't remember me at all from those days, and she's very upfront about that. And one of the things I love about Shelley, she will be like, I don't have any recollection of you as an intern, which I thought was pretty cool. And but we would talk about music. That was always the thing. Like, you knew you could talk to Shelley about music, like David Bowie or Britpop. So,
excellent. And so now, when you start to bring this together, did you know that you were going to pick Doom Patrol and some of these other series?
The imprint was almost built around me writing Doom Patrol.
Right.
I knew that I had really wanted to do that. That was like a life dream goal, wish list thing, bucket list thing. So the imprint was really built kind of around the take that we were going to bring to Doom Patrol, right, and kind of construct the imprint around that.
Now, and clearly you're really good friends with Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison has collaborated with you musically in addition to being just a kind of good mentor in comics.
Yes.
And so it's kind of a series as beloved and strange as Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol, kind of a Dada-esque approach to superheroes, is difficult to replicate, and probably not necessarily something you wanted to do exactly the same anyhow. So in your take on Doom Patrol, what do you think makes it different from what came before, and what were the challenges you faced in approaching writing these characters?
Well, first of all, it would be impossible to replicate what Grant was doing with Richard Case, so I wasn't even going to try. More, the thing that was important to me was to touch on some of those characters, though.
Yeah.
Because those books are still in print.
Yeah.
More so than I think a lot of other runs, besides the original run, which is fantastic. But
it's been omnibused, it's been separately
it's out there, it's in the consciousness. So these are characters that were way ahead of their time, and I felt like bringing them back, but I was totally going to do it the way I wanted to. I think there's an element. I think when I write weird comics, I think they're a little different than Grant's weird comics.
Yes.
First of all, his are way smarter than mine, and I think mine are more casual slice of life, a little bit. Like, there's some Love and Rockets to it.
More emotional.
Yeah, I think it's more emotional, and it's more lyrical, obviously. Yeah.